Hey folks, some good news for South Africa, but is it really good news? Let's delve into this. South Africa has secured its first credit upgrade in 2 decades after Standard & Poor's Global Ratings lifted the country's sovereign ratings by 1 notch to BB on the back of reforms and growing fiscal revenue, or so reports the media. The agency upgraded its foreign currency sovereign credit rating for Africa's most industrialized nation to BB from BB minus on Friday. That's 2 notches below investment grade. The local currency rating also increased to a notch to BB plus. Standard & Poor's said it had a positive outlook given the potential for further improvements in fiscal metrics and government debt stabilization after a medium-term budget update this week signaled that government debt was coming under control. Now, the improvement, according to Standard & Poor's, underlines a turnaround under President Cyril Ramaphosa's government from constant rolling power blackouts and crises in his African National Congress just a few years ago to structural reforms and the advent of coalition government. What in the world are these analysts drinking? Have they ever been to South Africa? Have they ever looked at South Africa? How can you make these conclusions? Folks, this just demonstrates how we should be careful about how we view or accept credit rating agencies' assessments and not take their analysts' comments at face value. Turnaround from constant rolling power blackouts? Folks, when these junk bond ratings were applied to South Africa, load shedding wasn't even a feature of the economy for the first several years when it earned junk bond status. Claiming the absence of load shedding is a justification for raising the credit rating is comical because they wound up in the situation without load shedding. Load shedding is worse. So now they've returned to a position where they were when they first earned junk bond status. Why would they be able to escape it? As far as structural reforms, what structural reforms? Who's writing these reports? Yes, there have been structural reforms, but it's gone in the wrong direction. Let's talk about the abrogation of property rights and the immoral seizure of private property through expropriation without compensation, now the law of the land in South Africa. Or the government seizure of the private sector healthcare industry with the National Health Insurance Initiative. Or the crushing of businesses with racist hiring quotas in the updated Employment Equity Act. Or demanding companies fork over 3% of their earnings to the racist program of enriching only black South Africans. None of those things are structural reforms that will make life better or improve the economy in South Africa. In fact, they will make the country collapse. Yet, Standard & Poor's feels it's time to upgrade the credit ratings? Meanwhile, critical infrastructure is or has collapsed. Criminal syndicates control the taxi and construction industries. Violent crime is pervasive and disruptive. And there's so many other problems. Meanwhile, the government of national unity has proven to be little more than a rubber stamp for the progressive racist agenda that has been destroying the economy for 2 decades. Folks, a couple examples of where we're at today. South Africa used to have, 3 or 4 oil refineries? There's 1 refinery in operation in Cape Town. And that one was shut down for a while too. Only 1 ferrochrome smelter out of 18 is left in the entire country, and that one will close soon. That's deindustrialization. And you're improving their credit rating? The government still runs much of the economy through illegitimate state-owned enterprises, driving out the private sector while simultaneously not delivering. That is a brake on the economy. How can you increase credit ratings when the government controls so much of the economy? Ultimately, while South African politicians will try to make hay of this upgrade in the credit rating, ooh, look at us, we improved, we improved, we improved. At the end of the day, South Africa still has junk bond status and is a high risk for investors. Therefore, it can only borrow money in the credit markets at extremely elevated interest rates, further impoverishing the country. That's the bottom line. So congratulations to moving up from 1 level of junk bond status to a higher level after 2 decades of having junk bond status. Now, these are 2 questionable recent activities when it comes to finances and economy that makes you shake your head about what's really going on in the capital sector. Number 1, the Financial Action Task Force removed South Africa from the gray list. Why? Has it suddenly not become a haven for terror financing and money laundering? Or are they simply taking steps to identify that? It doesn't change the reality. And now, its junk bond status is being upgraded to a higher level of junk bond status. Why? When all the indicators are going the wrong way. What is in play here in the capital markets? Who runs these organizations that make these decisions? They're clearly not based on business decisions. What say you, South Africa? I say poppycock. Nice, you'll get a little bit lower interest rates, but let's not throw parties. because you can't afford to. You're paying through-the-nose interest rates because your country is basically insolvent. That's not a good thing. Cheers.